I've had so many clients say to me that they would feel a lot better about the struggles with sleep if they could just nap. They're trying hard to nap, it's just not happening. My name's Fiona. I'm a recovered chronic insomniac turned certified sleep coach. And in today's video, I'm going to be talking about why napping feels impossible, why it's making you feel a specific way, how to approach napping instead. So, if napping is the end goal, what to actually do if you're in that situation, and how napping may be the last component of sleep that actually comes back in your sleep recovery. If you're currently in a situation where you're struggling with sleep and you don't really know why, I do encourage you to check out my free 30-minute masterclass. I have linked that below, where I break down what insomnia is, why you're probably in the situation, and also what to do about it. Jumping straight into the video, let's talk about why napping feels impossible. And in order for us to understand why you can't nap, we need to know two things. One, how sleep works, and two, how insomnia works, or how insomnia gets in the way of sleep. Number one, for sleep, sleep is a completely passive process. It is regulated by our circadian rhythm. This is our internal body clock, which we're going to come back to later. Our sleep need, which is our individual need for sleep. This can vary between 6 to even 10 hours a night. And number three, we've got our sleep drive. This is the accumulation of adenosine in our brain. It is a basically accumulation of the need to sleep that happens throughout the day. Then, insomnia is the difficulty falling asleep and staying asleep due to being stuck in a state of hyperarousal. We are stuck in a state of hyperarousal when we can't sleep because through a sleep disruption, basically something that has caused us not to sleep, a stressful event, a change in environment, a partner snoring, we we have reacted badly to the fact that we're not sleeping, and that in itself has conditioned our nervous system to believe that wakefulness, which is the opposite of sleep, is something that we need to avoid. And all of this is relevant to napping because insomnia, the difficulties with sleep, create a state of hyperarousal in our body. This means that we have excess adrenaline and cortisol running through our body, and that is specifically around the time of maybe bedtime or when you're trying to make sleep happen, because our body has identified that wakefulness is truly something to avoid. The more we react to the fact that we're not sleeping, the more stress we're actually creating. So even though we want sleep to happen, it's not happening because we're actually chasing it, and our nervous system is interpreting at that as there is something wrong that is going to happen if we do not achieve sleep. However, we get this wrong because sleep is a completely passive process, right? So we try and make sleep happen, but that's not how sleep works. Take that information, pair it also with the fact that during the day, our circadian rhythm is responsible for us being awake. When we wake up in the morning, even if you have had a really bad night of sleep, yes, you can physically feel tired, but your body clock is currently signaling to all of the little cells in your body that it is time for it to be awake, meaning that it is time to be productive, to be there for your family, to go to work. This is how biologically we operate because we are animals that operate in daylight hours. So during the day, this is usually not when we sleep, especially if you have had a bad night and you're trying to sleep in the early morning or like the late morning or like the early afternoon. Typically, one, you already have an increase of hyperarousal and this cortisol and adrenaline in your body. And two, this is not when your body is used to sleeping, right? It's still daylight. You actually haven't probably accumulated enough sleep drive throughout the day or adenosine in your brain. So your biology is almost like if you're trying to force yourself to sleep and it's just not happening, it's not because you aren't able to sleep, okay? It's just that you are chasing sleep when your body is not ready for that to happen. So that's why you can't nap. It's one, we have a identification that wakefulness is a threat. Two, you're trying to force yourself to nap and to rest when your body's not ready for that to happen. And three, you're reacting to the fact that you're not napping either, right? The fact that we think that something's wrong, that we're trying our best to force ourselves to nap. And I remember this so well from my own recovery. I used to lay myself down like in the afternoon after work and think like, if I could only nap right now, I would be okay. Or this would feel a lot more bearable. And in the afternoon slash evening, when the day is like behind you, the heaviness of the night ahead feels unbearable. But little did I know that the more I was trying to search for sleep, whether it was napping or at night, the more I was actually conditioning my nervous system that wakefulness was in fact a threat. So now that you know why napping feels impossible, let's talk about what you can do about it in order to be able to nap again in the future. The most important thing that you can do all around when it comes to sleep is to work with your relationship with wakefulness. That means that you are accepting and you're learning that sleep is a completely passive process. You're not chasing it. If you're going to take rest or you're going to lie down in the afternoon, let that be the focus. So you're in a way you're showing your nervous system that wakefulness isn't a threat by exposing yourself to wakefulness without actually trying to avoid it. But then that also means that you're not making sleep the focus. So if you feel like you'd like to give yourself some rest in the late afternoon, allow yourself to rest, maybe lay down with your eyes closed and make rest be the focus. The more you shift your perspective from one of I need sleep in order for it to be okay to I can still allow myself like time to rest, I can trust my body that it is able to sleep in due course as I slowly work on my levels of hyperarousal, trust me, things will get a lot easier. Over the course of time, as you continue to work on your relationship with wakefulness, not just during the day or when you're intending to nap, but ultimately also at night, that also means that your body, your biology will slowly start to release and loosen. It is quite common for recovering insomniacs to feel like they're more tired once they start sleeping more. And that is a sign that you're just no longer running on the same heightened level of adrenaline and cortisol. And because of this, even though logically you may be understanding this, it takes quite a while for our nervous system to slowly let go of the stress that it has been holding on to in order for it to keep us safe. So if you feel like napping is important and you want to get there, it's probably going to be one of the last things that actually comes back in relationship to sleep. And that is because our body is just stuck in this state of hyperarousal. It doesn't mean that it is harmful for you or that something's wrong or that you are broken. I would just say that maybe if you feel like you are unable to nap, that is okay for now. And over the course of time, and the more you work on your relationship with ultimately wakefulness and the fear associated with wakefulness, the easier it gets. And the more you'll be able to feel, okay, yes or no, I feel like I can nap and I can allow my body to take care of napping without me getting involved in the process. Anyway, I hope this all made sense. And if you do have absolutely any questions related to sleep, I would absolutely love to hear from you. Go ahead and drop that in the comment section below. And I promise to respond at least within a day.